Hi everyone, and welcome to the Female Founder Connect Showcase. Here we are sharing the amazing female founders working on startups across Australia. I'm Crystal McGregor, Program Lead at Tech Ready Women, and I'm here today with Maja Paleka from Melo. Hi Maja.
Hi Crystal.
Lovely to have you on. Let's jump straight into it. What problem are you solving at Melo?
We're solving a very interesting and for I think a lot of people, a very familiar problem. So we know that the families in Australia and across the world, and specifically dual income families, are struggling under all there is to remember and do when it comes to managing a family. And that struggles on two fronts. Number one, it's the sheer volume of stuff that we have to remember and do, and it's just way too much. And number two, we're struggling with how we're kind of managing that problem, how we're distributing it across the family or the team. Our research and academic research shows that we are still very much following the primary care model, even though we are dual income families, and it's just not serving us anymore. It's causing frustration, resentment, and in some cases, relationship breakdown. And we know that has further impacts in terms of organizations and productivity, the type of talent that chooses to drop out at times and not be able to participate fully in the workforce. And then not to mention in terms of, that female participation in the workforce and the impact in terms of our economy and community overall.
Ooh, I'm a mum of three. I'm super curious to hear more.
The reaction we get.
How did you come across the problem?
Like the usual startup, I think it's an itch we have to scratch. So 3 out of the 4 founders in Melo, there are 4 of us, are parents. So that we have 8 kids amongst all of us. And 3 of us are women that have always loved working. We have always adored, being engaged in stuff that we wanted to do. But we just found that where we ended up wasn't really what we thought we were going to end up in terms of the way that we run our families and run sort of the roles inside the families when it comes to managing that mental load.
The juggle is real.
Absolutely.
And so how does Melo solve the problem?
So Melo is a few things, and maybe just sort of helps explain what it is. So first, it's a tool, it's an app for getting stuff done. And it also is, apart from just being a tool, we're thinking about it as a methodology. So a set of habits and ways of behaving and ways of being as a family that can kind of replace the things that we do today that are sort of, we've, as I said, fallen into almost subconsciously and based on, traditional roles that we've seen in the past. So we want to offer families a little bit of coaching and some questions and really some suggestions about different ways that we can get stuff done that might get us to that place where we really want to be. So it's helping families decide how they want to run things. We're not saying 50-50 is the right answer, and it might not be for most families, but we want it to be a conscious choice. So Melo, through the tool, one is just brings that visibility and let's get everybody on the same page. What are you doing? What am I doing? What is everyone else doing? And how are we going to get this done? So getting, we sort of say getting the team on the same page. And then 2 is helping us sort of with some of those different offerings.
Fascinating. And so what are you working on right now?
So we've been lucky to get the MVP grant from the New South Wales government, which was wonderful. So we went through a full UX and UI review. We knew from sort of some initial testing that we did, beta testing and corporate pilot that we had, that there was a few tweaks that we wanted to make. Our target market are families who are overloaded, so it needs to be as simple and clean as possible. So that's what we're going through now, and that should be done in the next couple of weeks, which we're really excited. And then we have a few corporates as well as academic institutions that want to pilot it with us.
Good, and huge congratulations on the MVP grant. I know lots of startups, aiming for that, but to actually pull it off, and I'm sure it's a huge, financial help to the.
Oh, absolutely. It makes a really big difference. It is a lot of work, I will admit. And we were kind of like, oh my goodness, how are we going to get through all this? But it's been a really big help and a huge difference for us, for sure.
Yeah, well done.
Thanks.
And so what do you need help with at the moment? What's your ask?
Well, I kind of have 2 asks. I know I'm being a little bit cheeky, but I'm going to go with that. Number one, we are at a point where we really need to raise some investment, and it's just going to help us scale quicker. We do have a path where we can do this on our own, but we think we can really get to that impact in a quicker way and get to scale. So if anyone knows any people that would be passionate actually about this, we're really keen to think about investors who care about making a difference in the space. So that impact-oriented investment is really sort of what we're after. And number two, the second ask is just if you know of organizations that are really all about progressively supporting their working families and want to do something practical to offer to their employees, to improve their well-being and drive some of those outcomes that we all are on the same page for, then yeah, we'd love an introduction. So those are our two things that we're sort of focused on right now.
Yeah, great ask. And perhaps this is the 5-minute pitch for any investors who want to get an idea on what you do.
Yeah, wonderful. Thank you. Great.
Okay, I've got some quick fire questions.
Sure.
Where are you based?
I think that we are based in Sydney.
Wonderful. What is the most helpful advice you've received as a startup founder?
Is really just to get out there and talk to anyone and everyone that you can about your idea, about what you're trying to do.
Great advice.
Yeah.
And tell me, what are 3 words that best describe your journey as a startup founder?
Interesting. Surprising, extremely joyful and exhilarating, and I won't lie, challenging.
Yeah, no, that sounds common.
Yeah, definitely.
The startup founders.
Absolutely.
Maja, it was so wonderful having you on the Female Founder Showcase. And
thanks so much, Crystal.